What's up, guys? This is Chris from DraftDashboard.com. Here are my DFS picks for NBA Sunday, December 2nd. These picks apply for DraftKings and FanDuel. Before I get started, please drop a like on this video and hit that red subscribe button and hit that bell icon so you don't miss our new videos. In this video, I'm going to go over my top picks for today's NBA slate. And if you stick around to the very end of this video, we'll use the Draft Dashboard tools to make a DFS lineup using the picks we just made. Okay, let's take a look at the point guard position. I like Mike Conley from the Memphis Grizzlies playing the Philadelphia 76ers, who have a middle-of-the-pack defense overall and are also middle-of-the-pack defending opposing fantasy point guards. Mike Conley has scored 61, 45, and 49 fantasy points in his last 3 games, averaging 38.7 fantasy points per game on the season in an average of 34 minutes per game with a 29% usage rate. Mike Conley is $8,500 DraftKings salary, projected at 38.4 fantasy points here today. He's going to need about 40 fantasy points to hit 5 times value, and it looks like he's averaging over 40 fantasy points in the last 5 games. He's got 61, 45, 49, 39, 54. He had 54 fantasy points versus Philly the last game. It's a high price to pay, but I love Mike Conley here versus the Philadelphia 76ers. Real quick, guys, I got great news. For a limited time, we're offering a full 30-day trial to Draft Dashboard. You can try all our DFS tools for NFL, and the tools for NBA are awesome. This is a great time to get in and try everything for 1 month. The tools are all about saving research time. You can see the last 3 games, the fantasy points per game, the targets they got per game, so you can see how involved they are in the offense, the rushes they got per game. Seeing all this stuff on one screen helps you save time and make better picks. Okay, let's take a look at the shooting guard position. I like Evan Turner from the Portland Trail Blazers playing the San Antonio Spurs, who are the 8th worst defense overall and give up the 4th most fantasy points to opposing shooting guards. Evan Turner has scored 19, 27, and 27 fantasy points in the last 3 games, averaging 22.5 fantasy points per game on the season in an average of 26 minutes per game. And yeah, look at that, 26 minutes in the last 3 games. So you can count on about 26 minutes from Evan Turner, which is pretty good. At a 17% usage rate, Evan Turner is only $4,000 DraftKings salary. He's $500 more on FanDuel, projected at 18.7 fantasy points here today. He'll need about 20 fantasy points to hit 5 times value. Well within his range, he has 30-point upside. I love Evan Turner here versus the San Antonio Spurs. Okay, let's take a look at the small forward position. I like Wesley Matthews from the Dallas Mavericks playing the LA Clippers, who are the 7th worst defense overall and about middle of the pack defending opposing small forwards. Wesley Matthews has scored 23, 13, and 22 fantasy points in the last 3 games, averaging 24.6 fantasy points per game on the season in an average of 32 minutes per game with a 20% usage rate. Wesley Matthews is only $4,500 DraftKings salary, $200 more on FanDuel, projected at 23 fantasy points here today. That would be 5 times value. Wesley Matthews is playing a high-paced game at home. I like this pick versus the LA Clippers. Before I continue with the picks, I'm excited today because we added a new contest for everyone watching. If you want to enter the drawing for $100 PayPal, all you need to do is like this video, hit that subscribe button, and make a quick comment below to be entered into the drawing. We'll reply to a random comment and let you know that you won, and then we'll send you $100 PayPal. So it's that easy, and we pick a new winner every Saturday and announce them in our video. So get your comment in now so I can add another entry for you. Okay, let's take a look at the power forward position. I like LaMarcus Aldridge for the San Antonio Spurs playing the Portland Trail Blazers, who are the 10th worst defense overall, and they give up the 5th most fantasy points to opposing power forwards. LaMarcus Aldridge has scored 32, 23, and 42 fantasy points in his last 3 games, averaging 37.5 fantasy points per game on the season and an average of 34 minutes per game with a 26% usage rate. LaMarcus Aldridge is $7,600 DraftKings salary. He's $400 more on FanDuel, reasonable price on both sites, projected at 40.7 fantasy points here today. That's over 5 times value. Home game, fast-paced game. I love a LaMarcus Aldridge here versus the Portland Trailblazers. Okay, moving on to the center position. I like Hassan Whiteside from the Miami Heat playing the Utah Jazz, who have a really good defense overall, but they give up the 7th most fantasy points to opposing centers. Hassan Whiteside has scored 32, 32, and 13 fantasy points in his last 3 games, averaging 38.5 fantasy points per game on the season, in an average of 27 minutes per game with a 23% usage rate. Hassan Whiteside is $7,000 DraftKings salary. He's $1,200 more on FanDuel. I love that DraftKings price. Projected at 40.3 fantasy points here tonight. Projected at 40.3 fantasy points here today. That's way over 5 times value. Let's hope he stays out of foul trouble, gets enough minutes to make an impact, and score at least 35 fantasy points in this game to hit 5 times value. If you want to try all these daily fantasy tools for yourself, click the link in the description below this video, or just go to draftdashboard.com. You can use our DFS lineup optimizer to build quality lineups using our picks and your own custom player pool. Click the link in the description below this video and try all these daily fantasy tools right now. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so you can get instant updates whenever we post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please smiggity smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Oh, and please comment below with your favorite player for today's NBA slate. I love to hear what you guys have to think. Thanks again, and good luck.